Moved around quite a bit when I was a kid. So having to make new friends, leaving friends behind, um, spending a lot of time by myself, becoming creative. I used to I used to dress up as different characters when I was a kid and perform musical songs for my family. I was an odd child. So yeah, a lot of moving around, a lot of like learning how to make friends and learning how to cope with leaving friends behind. It was a huge part of my childhood. Musician. It's one of the strangest jobs you can ever have. Touring the world in little aluminum metal tubes, planes and buses, and performing for people and being in different parts of the world at all times. It's a very strange job, but I love it. I would either be in a kitchen at a restaurant as a line cook or a chef or a bartender. I love the restaurant industry. I love the bar scene. It's people that I can relate to, people that are like crazy like me. True story. I was 14 and a half, maybe close to 15. I'm not sure exactly when this happened. A friend of mine played me the band Minor Threat, and I remember hearing them for the first time, and my mind was blown. I'd never heard anything so fast and so like aggressive and pissed off. And at that moment, I just knew like that's what I want to do. I want to be a hardcore singer, and then somehow I morphed into a metal singer. Whoops! Best mistake I ever made in my life. I gave up music 3 times in my life. Went through depressions, went through crises, and music's always been there for me. Um, and yeah, I've worked a lot of my life. I've had tons of jobs, but thankfully, since I've rejoined Killswitch, I'm getting by. I'm paying my bills, and I don't have to work a job. So I've actually spent my free time catching up with my family, being creative, going for trips, traveling. It's great. But yeah, I've done a lot of jobs in my life. I'm still very much a blue collar worker in my mind. I, I'm a normal. Normal. Screw that word. I'm a. I'm not as different from people as they think I am. Does that make any sense? I'm not a rock star. Is what I'm trying to say to you. That shit's a myth. Both, both of them are my marriage. My marriage to my wife. We are both dysfunctional people, and we've hurt each other worse than I think anyone's hurt anyone else, and we've also given each other love that no one else has seen or given. We have never received or given. Marriage. It's both of those things. Not for everybody, but for me it is. Yeah, I don't really have idols. I don't really believe that any other person's higher than another person, but I do admire people, and I guess if I had to choose somebody off the top of my head, I'd say maybe Mother Teresa. From what I've read about her and what I know about her, she gave so much of herself to like a crazy, ridiculous point, and I just don't know if I could dedicate my life to giving that much. I respect that immensely. That's like otherworldly stuff. My wife. Period. Same person, my wife. We've gone through some rough times together. How deep is that? That's so deep. Baroness Purple, the record Purple by Baroness. So good. It's epic. It's soulful. I think it's a perfect record. Hats off to Baroness. Well done, boys. Really hard to say one record. I really love all kinds of music. Oh, that's a really hard question. I'll just pick one. Let's say Bad Brains, self-titled record by Bad Brains. That album, every time I put it on, it just blows my mind. It's incredible. All right, so last night I was happy and I loved everyone kind of drunk, but it wasn't, I wasn't cross-eyed, I wasn't stumbling. I try not to get to that level. I don't want to lose control, or I don't want to wake up the next day and not remember things, because that's happened to me way too often in my life. Thankfully, the last time that I woke up and didn't remember stuff, it's been at least a month, give or take. Last book I read was, oh, what the hell's the name of it? It's called Please Kill Me. It's an oral history of punk rock from two New Yorkers' perspectives, from like I think it's 1970s through the 1980s, and they talk about the New York punk scene, and it's so good. I really take a lot of inspiration from that time frame and those particular bands, from the Ramones to Television to Blondie and Patti Smith. That whole scene from New York is just incredible. The book is great. No, no. I would want to knock people out and hurt them sometimes, but no, I don't think I've ever wanted to kill somebody that I can remember. No, my answer is no. Long story. And not going there. Yes, I have. Oh, yeah, I'll never forget that. I was 15 years old and I was in the basement of my girlfriend's mother's house, and it was awkward and it was amazing. Wow, a week ago maybe? Now? Yeah, ish. I've been on the road. Does this count? My first impulse is a drink, but I would I would probably stop and think about it for a second, and I would probably, because I do this more often than not. Believe it or not, when I have cash in my pocket, I blow it on something, or I'll give it to a street performer. I've done that a few times, and that's an awesome feeling when you do something like that and you see the look on their face, or like a homeless person, without judgment. Sometimes I give to homeless people and don't judge if they're going to spend it on drugs or alcohol. It's not my business. Um, that kind of stuff is awesome. I'd probably do that. I'd probably give it away, or offer to buy shots for a bunch of people in a bar, with me included, of course. If it's not my wife, I have no business being in bed with another woman. So, my wife, I definitely would not kick out of bed. That's my safe answer. How do you like that? You're welcome, wife. Yeah, maybe to have enough money to like not worry about having to pay bills for a long time, and enough money to help my family, who struggle sometimes. Yeah, I guess some financial security would be nice, but I don't have that right now. I either don't save money, or make just enough to get by. I think it would be really fun to like have at least a time in my life where I could not worry about that stuff. That'd be awesome. Working at a corporate job with a building that has no windows. You're in a cubicle. You work for a company that is doing terrible things in the world and you have a boss that is micromanaging everything that you do, and the boss uses the words unacceptable all the time. That sounds like hell to me. One of the high points, number one high point would be Download Festival 2012 was the sixth, maybe the sixth show back with Killswitch, and we played the Download Festival, and that set was incredible. Not that we played incredibly, but the feeling that we all had and the way that the crowd was. It had been raining for days and days, and we got into like the second or third song, and the clouds out of nowhere parted, and the sun was like right here, and it was like a huge spotlight on the stage, so much so that it actually blinded me in one eye. And after days of being out in the rain, the crowd was just invigorated by that. And I don't even remember what song we kicked into, but I remember just standing there, and I kind of just like had one of those moments. I was like, this is so awesome. And actually, somebody caught that picture of that, and it's online. And that's a moment, a high moment I'll never forget. It was awesome. Rejoining Killswitch is a high point of mine. And then finishing this record Incarnate is definitely a high point in my career. Low points. Leaving Killswitch Engage, I was a pretty low point. When Times of Grace stopped working and touring, and we got dropped and it was dead in the water, that was a pretty low point. And then, what else is a low point in my career? Anytime a YouTube video goes up of when I have a bad day at work, one of my bad performances, and somebody captures it and puts it up on YouTube, and I just feel like shit after that. It's like like your worst day, or you're having a bad day at your job, and somebody records it and shows it to you. It's like, check this out, you suck. That's always not fun. So I try not to pay attention to that anymore. But it happens. It's the internet. People always have their phones up. And sometimes this thing doesn't work so well. So that always kind of sucks. But I have to learn to let go of that. I think if there was a way to change the laws of nature so instant karma was a natural law, I think people would treat each other a lot better when they got a taste of their own medicine. The evil that people do to people, if it was automatically thrown back on you, I think we'd be in a better world, because people wouldn't treat each other like shit.